Thank you so much for joining us today. We have something very exciting planned.
That's right, we've got a Rootin' Tootin' Goods video for you this morning. My friend Ken came in to tell a story about a man named Jonah from the Bible. And it is one of the funnest stories. You're not going to want to miss it.
One day, Jonah was walking outside and all of a sudden he heard a voice speaking to him.
Go to the great city of Nineveh and preach to the people there. They are being wicked and evil and disobeying me.
I think I heard a voice from God maybe, telling me to go somewhere. I don't think I want to go there because Nineveh is terrible people. They're evil, they're bad, they spit all over the floor. Just disgusting people. Don't want to go there at all. I think I'll go somewhere else, maybe to Tarshish or something, take a boat there.
Jonah goes down to Joppa, hops on a ship, and travels to Tarshish, the exact opposite direction of Nineveh. However, throughout his travels on the ship, Jonah experiences some wild waters and a very violent storm.
Whoa, that's a bad storm. What's going on here? Is this boat gonna make it? I don't know.
Some of the other people on board had the idea to begin throwing cargo off the ship to lighten the weight of the ship. They also had the idea to cast lots to figure out who was responsible for making the storm happen. This essentially means that they were gambling to try to figure out the will of God. The lot fell on Jonah, so they questioned him.
Maybe you should throw me out of the boat.
At this point, because Jonah disobeyed God, the men threw Jonah overboard. He was then swallowed up by a giant fish. Jonah was in the belly of this fish for 3 days and 3 nights.
God, you've always cared for me. You've always heard my cry. Even when I did some bad things and messed up, you listened to me and you were there for me and you helped me. Well, I messed up big this time and I'm in real deep in a whale. I need some help. And I know, I just ask that you forgive me, that you would forgive me for my mistakes, and that you would hear my cry right now and save me from this whale. Amen.
After the 3 days and 3 nights, the giant fish vomited Jonah up onto dry land. Then the word of the Lord came to Jonah a second time.
Go to the great city of Nineveh and proclaim the message I give to you.
I'm off to Nineveh. From now on, I'll be obedient and follow God whatever He says to do.
Jonah obeyed God this time and traveled to Nineveh. Nineveh was a large city and took a total of 3 days to get through it. Jonah proclaimed the message that God had given him. In that 40 days, Nineveh would be destroyed. The people believed him and turned from their evil ways. Fast forward, God later saw that the Ninevites turned from their evil ways, and He did not bring about destruction on them.
Good morning, boys and girls. This morning's story was about a man named Jonah. And Jonah comes from a book of the Bible called Jonah. Jonah has his own book in the Bible, and it's actually only 4 chapters long, so our story is all of the chapters of the book of Jonah. And you'll find the book of Jonah later in the Bible, but it's right before the New Testament. So it's before you find Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. You find like 2 pages here called Jonah. And the story of Jonah starts with a man walking through a city, and he hears God call out to him, "Go to the city of Nineveh." But like we saw in our story, Ken didn't want to go, did he? No. Jonah didn't want to go to the city of Nineveh because that's where all the bad people were, the evil ones that spit on the floor, and nobody wants to be their friend. And he didn't want to go there and tell them about Jesus, so he decided to go to Tarshish. So it was like God said go that way, and Jonah said, no, I'm going that way. And he went the whole wrong direction, and then this big storm comes in, and they end up throwing Jonah off the boat. Well, when they throw Jonah off the boat, the storm stops. That's what it says in the Bible. It says as soon as Jonah was thrown off the boat, it got calm and quiet. And then Jonah gets eaten by the whale or the fish, swallowed up, and then later the fish pukes him out on the dry land again after he spent 3 days praying to God. It's funny, when we talked about Esther a couple weeks ago, we heard Esther prayed and fasted and spent time seeking God for 3 days, right? And then you've got Jonah is in a whale for 3 days. And both times, in the end, they did what God told them to do, and they ended up succeeding in their mission. Kind of cool the way the Bible does that. So in our story this morning, we learned that Jonah did the wrong thing, ended up praying and doing the right thing. Ken from Toy Story kind of did the same thing. He was friends with that Lotso Hug and Bear guy, and then turns around and decides, you know what? Sunnyside could be cool and groovy if we all were friends together and took care of each other, and that's how the story ends. I love you guys. I hope you got something out of our story today, and I hope we see you next week. Thanks for joining us.
Good morning.
I'll try not to be too loud because I know she's going to be quiet.
Yes.
Okay. All named Jonah. I'm going to do that again. Okay.
That thing's really weird.
You're not a robot. You're plastic.
Yeah. Okay. All right, Ken. So now
I don't know
you
what I'm
need to
doing.
be in a boat.
Should I sit down in the boat? I'm really inflexible.
Jonah? These are safari hats?
Yeah, they throw out cargo and then.
Why are we wearing, wait, why are we wearing safari hats?
what we say. Because you're the pirate that didn't do anything.
Why are you standing like that?
Ken.
Should we move the whole
Oh, you're Ken from Ken and Barbie. You kind of look like a Ken.
That's what they tried to make me look like a kid.
Okay, you start throwing that
Hey,
out.
Corbin, you got like a mattress pad or something? Who's gonna cushions? They can throw me on there. Lift me in.
You're just gonna jump and roll,
Carpet.
man. You're fine.
Let's not say anything else. Can I make a sound effect? No. Pop it? Oh, I can't see myself. Pretty rough, guys. Sorry.